right. Well, we prepped something very different earlier for the show because there was still talks of this happening, but it's happened. So, what is
it happened?
What I mean, well, I didn't understand why this. I mean,
you don't get it.
I do not understand it. But let's get into it. What is your reaction to this hire?
It's pretty crazy that these things are happening as fast as they're happening. No. It's just.
Can you please explain?
No, it's just happening so fast. Now, I've been calling all type of people that's connected to Bill, and when you go radio silence on stuff over the last 48 hours, nobody's responded.
Right. Yeah.
That tells me something is cooking. He's putting his staff together to make things go
and they can't
a certain
answer your
way.
call that you work it out of them.
Yeah, but now my phone won't stop ringing. So you think about it and you're saying, why is he doing this? I don't believe it's because he couldn't get a job in the National Football League, because that door hasn't even opened yet. The season's still going. We got a month left, plus the playoffs. I just think he probably looked at Bill O'Brien at Boston College, who coached with him for a number of years. His son is the defensive coordinator, Steve Belichick, at the University of Washington. Jed Fish was on his staff in New England, who's the head coach at Washington. Nick Saban is his best buddy, who was a college coach. When you start talking to these type of guys, and he was involved heavily in some of Washington's just meetings and things like that throughout the season with his son on the defensive side of the ball. So I think he just got an itch to want to coach and take some of that pressure of being in the NFL and go to college. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know. He's going to set it up. Most college teams are set up like pro organizations now. Right. They have general managers. They have op guys. They have assistants all over the place. In fact, Nick Saban started this several years ago. They had a whole room, a whole side of a building dedicated to recruiting services and football ops only. He started it. And now every program in America has this. So it fits with Bill in the pro situation. I just want to know, unlike the NFL, Paul, when we come to you and say, man, I outperform my contract. I want to get paid. What's going to happen when he's sitting in the living room and the kid says, well, Alabama just offered me $2.5 million. What y'all got? What's going to happen when – because he ain't used to that. He ain't used to a kid leaving, because in the NFL, they got to cut you, trade you. A kid could just jump in the portal and say, Michael, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gone. How that's going to play?
That's not key. This is the greatest coach the NFL has ever seen.
NFL.
The NFL.
NFL.
Okay. Regardless. NFL, greatest coach, football coach. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
That kid ain't going to talk to Bill Belichick like that. It's going to be an honor for a kid to come play for this coach, because what he's going to be preaching, you want to have your best chance to get to the NFL, like Deion Sanders, who's one of the greatest players to ever play. You come to my program, I'm going to teach you how to play the game the right way. This is how I did. I coached Tom Brady. Now, if I was a college kid, I played for Roy Williams, who coached Michael Jordan. Okay. I used to ask him, how was Michael Jordan in practice? What did he do for this? You think kids ain't going to go there and say, how was Brady? How was certain play? And that valuable lesson that you're going to get from playing under Bill Belichick, that's going to go a long way. He's not worried about that NIL. He's going to have people for that. He's not worried about going on the road recruiting. He's going to have people for that.
If they can keep him to the football.
If they can.
It's going to be about come play for one of the greatest football coaches that ever lived.
Yeah, I hear that.
I hear too, Paul.
But what about my money, though?
Yes, Paul is different.
All right, well, talk to Mr. Van Bolt.
You went to Kansas because we couldn't pay you at USC. Yeah, so you went to Kansas to get paid.
You took all the money.
That may be true.
By the time I got there, there was no more money left.
That may be true. That may be true.
I like what he's done, and he stated it already. I would run this like a professional program. So now, honestly, are you clamping up for real?
Man, he's so stupid. My leg, I got a cramp.
That's what you get for calling them senior citizens earlier today.
Yeah. Right, are you cramping?
Do one leg exercise and he on IR. What the hell? Do one leg exercise and he go IR.
That was so late from the workout. That was early. You should have been.
I'm good.
Yeah. But listen, when he went out and announced this is going to be basically a farm league for the NFL. Now, I go always my own position, my own place, you know, coming up in the ghetto and all the brothers, all the young guys coming up in the ghetto, and the single moms that may have heard that. Now they're saying, baby, you know, because when I see the thing that takes me back is like, I can't imagine Bill sitting in somebody's living room. You brought it up in a meeting. Imagine you sitting in somebody's living room at 8 o'clock and that dude coming up the street.
Paul, that's what I'm saying, Paul.
They don't do that no more.
Yes, they do.
They don't do that no more.
Right.
Not
now, Paul,
like
to that, though, this one thing, dude. We need a Bill Belichick in college, really, to help with these young guys.
Going into everybody's living room?
No. Yes, Nick Saban. Yes, he did.
Yes, every living room.
Yes, he was going in there. Nick Saban was dancing on Instagram. You think Belichick don't cut a leg?
He had dudes.
Come on, man. What y'all talking about? Nick Saban was in there doing the dancing on Instagram,
Not only that,
man.
you know, Nick Saban loved cars. He owned car dealerships and everything. He would start up his Ferrari so the kids could just see it to hear the engine. He was doing stuff like that. I don't see Bill necessarily getting into those habits.
You don't think he's good at recruiting?
Dude, I'm telling you, all coaches, just because they're a great coach, can't coach anywhere. You brought up Nick Saban.
Good at recruiting.
Nick Saban couldn't cut it in the pros. Nick Saban couldn't cut in the pros. Great college coach. Great college coach.
You see Belichick's girlfriend.
Yeah.
He can recruit.
We saw.
What is happening with Bill Belichick?
I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
I don't want to hear that.
Joy?
My confusion for this is, though,
Joy, please get us back on track.
my confusion for this is it's not the same sport.
As it once was.
No.
Oh,
Same
NFL.
sport at all. Every player in the NFL is a professional.
Yes.
There are no professionals in college football.
Well,
because it's college football.
they're
No. I understand.
Semi-pro.
There's NIL.
Yeah.
There's semi-pro.
Yeah.
But they're literally not professional athletes.
No.
They have, for one thing to consider, class, which Bill Belichick hasn't been around in 50 years. Since 1975.
Well, that's not true.
It's changed a little bit. Okay? It's not the same thing.
Don't do it.
And this is not a program. This is not a program where people go to study football. Okay? This is UNC. Right? Now he might be building it into that, but as it currently stands, some people go there for an education. And as we know in college, everybody is not going to be a professional. So even if he is doing this pitch of, I'm turning this into a pro farm, well, what do I need to go to a pro farm for? There's Georgia, which is a pro farm. There's the University of Miami, which is a pro farm. There's Louisiana State University, which is a pro farm already.
But I've been in there forever. I know everybody, and I can help you get in there.
You can help, but so do all the other college coaches that put 10 to 15 kids in the NFL every single year. You feel like Georgia don't know a few NFL coaches?
Tennessee,
You don't have a couple
Georgia,
connects?
Clemson's.
They have a few people they can text. So I'm just saying Bill Belichick is not going to have a monopoly on getting young people to the NFL. There are already long-established, very well-run programs with amazing facilities.
Everybody sells that.
Like, you've been to the facility in Alabama? Pretty nice.
But Paul said, like he said, this is the greatest coach.
I hear that. But you are the greatest coach in the NFL. You starting your resume over in this sport, and you're dealing with young people. You're not dealing with the reason that Saban had such a hard time in pro football as it stood is because there was a disconnect in communication. And this was a different time in college football, obviously. You couldn't talk to professional athletes the way that you talk to college athletes.
Not at all.
Well, now you can't talk to college athletes the way you talk to pro athletes or old-time college athletes because they're still young. They still have to go to class. They still have all of the things that they're dealing with as they're growing into adults because we know what an 18 to 22-year-old is. But you also are talking about establishing an entire program. It's just crazy to me.
I think look, here's what I would say. I think he can do it because I believe he's smart enough.
He loves football.
He's smart enough to surround himself with people that have been in the college game. I don't think he's bringing nothing but pro people.
Like the staff he put together in New England?
But he won 12 Super Bowls in New England. Come on now, Joy.
He had Tom Brady there.
No, but we can. Tom Brady. He found Tom Brady. Everybody else passed on Tom Brady, and he passed on him a couple times too. And then he realized, okay, well, I'll just take a quarterback and see what it is. What I'm about to say, though, is we all said the same thing about Pete Carroll. Although Pete Carroll was a little younger than Bill is right now when he came to USC. he hadn't coached in college like for forever, like since the 70s when he was like at North Carolina State or something like that. And he wasn't our first choice. He was like the 5th choice when we got to USC. And he established a certain culture. And he became a dynamic recruiter. And he understood the nuances around recruiting and all of those different things. Do I think Bill will be able to do some of those things? Right. Time will tell. I think he will.
Oh, well,
now, is it about winning national championship after national championship for him, or is it about reestablishing whatever North Carolina had in the past when Mac Brown was there umpteen years ago? I don't know what his goals are. I don't know if he just wants, it's his retirement, want to play golf, and I want to win and go to the bowl games and be in his playoffs.
This is Bill Belichick.
I don't know.
He wants to coach and win.
Right, he wants to coach.
Yeah, but
there's no doubt about that. He wants to coach.
But win what, though? How many national championships? Are we talking about one?
He was 50
discussing
when he took that job.
I understand he was younger.
Yeah.
But he still got all the energy in the world, though. You obviously are missing some things because Jerry Jones said he still got all the messed out.
Jerry Jones
energy. Okay? Jerry Jones said he can.
Just because you relate to one 24-year-old does not mean that you can communicate.
I'm not talking about his alleged.
Okay.
I'm not talking about his alleged relationship. I'm not talking about that.
May not relate so much to what you're putting down.
Talking about.
Do I get that check as well?
Y'all so.
I don't know how far the Riz goes, Keyshawn, is what I'm saying.
Can we give Bill credit?
Please give him some credit.
Can we give Bill
credit? Give me credit.
Bill went on TV and made himself
appealing to people. Yes, he did.
Made himself appealing.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody really knew anything about Bill because he just came in and gave you the one line on the Cincinnati. That was it. But he's going on TV and loosing the rein. I thought he was loosening it up enough to come back to the NFL. And you know, so yeah.
So is this the Coach Prime effect?
Could be.
Absolutely.
That's not serious, Michael.
No, it does.
It's not. Because Deion Sanders is one of the best salesmen on the planet.
Correct.
He is one of the best marketers and best salesmen on the planet. We didn't know that Bill Belichick had a personality until this year.
Right. But Paul also, he's the greatest coach. So it's going to bring attention to North Carolina that they didn't have, that Mac Brown couldn't even bring to them. We up here on this show right now talking about North Carolina. You'd have never made it in my mouth outside of talking about Bill Belichick right
No, you're absolutely right.
So we're already giving them what they want.
Right.
It sounds like Joy might be scared of the ACC with Miami and North Carolina.
I think this is great news, personally.
Because if you think about it, though,
I didn't even think about that, Key. Now you don't put me in I get on. That's right.
So he got, what he got, 6 in New England?
Oh, man.
Yes.
6 in New England.
In the National Football League with Tom Brady.
No, I know 6 in New England, 2 in the Giants. Mm-hmm. So, like Michael, like you say, you drop them, you roll them, and you put them out on the table.
Put them on that table.
You roll them 8 and put them out on the table when you're recruiting somebody. That does go a long way.
Yeah. Pat Riley did that, also. But it was in the sport that he was.
I understand, but.
Right.
I'm not saying that there's no appeal to playing for Bill Belichick. Let me just to get to
There's a
lot of appeal. What the challenges are different. It's not just coaching. And there are multiple layers of working in college football. There are recruiting regulations that you have to follow. There are NIL situations that you have to get involved with. There's the transfer portal that you have to pay attention to. You have to re-recruit your own players every single year. You are dealing with parents. You are dealing with young men who are growing into adults, who are dealing with personal issues. You're dealing with students. You're dealing with boosters. Bill Belichick has to also talk to the boosters.
That's the one. That's the one. She's right, though, but that's the one. That's what. Because I liken it a lot to Jimmy Johnson, and he's very close with Jimmy. Jimmy is the one. Jimmy's one of the few guys that had great success on both levels. So I know he's going to glean as much as he can from Coach Johnson. He'll get as much as he can from Saban.
All of them.
They're all real close. So he'll know that grind. But right there, that last piece you mentioned, that's going to be the toughest part.
That's what I'm
dealing with these university presidents and all of that. That's going to be the toughest part.
Because he ain't the boss there.
How did he deal with
going to be.
He's not the boss.
When he heard, my player got arrested. Oh, my player is dealing with off the field issues. You know, that's when you got to deal with that type of stuff. Like that's a different stress.
Yeah,
that's a different stress when you're dealing with. That's a whole. So in some ways, he's already dealt with that.
Right.
The kids.
But in the pros,
in the pros, you got to deal like, man, I hope Michael Irvin.
Right.
You know, I hope
in the pros, when you call and tell them, when you call and tell them, hey, we got a problem, you know, somebody's been arrested. They get their lawyer. They got to get out. In college, you got to get all that stuff for them. You see, when it's more taken care of. It's more taken care of.
But there's more than just coaching. Even in the NFL, there's off-the-field issues that you deal with. You got to not coach. You got to be able to manage a team.
Yeah, but they're adults. You don't have to pick up the phone and call their parents and tell them you're.
But he loves coaching, and that right there, we're talking about managing over coaching.
But I honestly think that he wouldn't take this job if he didn't know all the different pitfalls.
He got the manifesto that said, "Don't call me if this is."
He knows. He's gonna have one of the best staffs that money can buy. He's not gonna set himself up for failure. Right.
And
guys like this don't do that.
Who's writing that check, Michael?
Well, the sponsors is lining up right now.
Yeah, no, of course.
Everybody.
Of course. What are those sponsors lining up for?
They gonna write the check.
They're not lining up. They're not lining up for bowl games.
Oh, I understand they lining up for national championships. I get all of that.
Right, no doubt.
He may never win a national championship in North Carolina.
Now let me put the question in the ether that's going to be asked if he ever get anywhere close to anything. If he wins a championship in college, does that remove he never won one without Tom Brady?
Yeah, of course.
Even if he wins it in college without Tom Brady?
I mean, I will submit. I will submit.
I'm not gonna
I don't have a problem submitting.
My brain, I had enough over the last year with my brain trying to get people to understand they did it together.
Right.
They did it together.
My brain,
but you know
last year, my brain, I just
Keyshawn, you know what Tom Brady also did without him?
I understand Tom winning.
You know what he did without him?
I understand Tom winning one without him. I got all of that. I got all of that, though. Joy, I got that.
I'm just saying.
But Tom had other people help him along the way, too.
Everybody needs help on the way to success. We know this.
Y'all need to stop.
No one does it alone.
Boy, y'all.
And Bill picked Tom.
But nobody
will give him no credit for
not only did he pick Tom,
and then he put the discipline around Tom
Michael,
so he can be.
Not only did he pick Tom, he had to make a decision to continue to play Tom after they gave Drew $100 million.
The #1 draft pick in the whole
made the right decision.
He had to make a decision.
But y'all don't give him no credit for
that. But none.
What is no credit?
None.
He's the best NFL coach ever.
But then you said without Tom, as if Tom hatched him. He hatched Tom. See, that's what I'm saying. You said without Tom, as Tom being the mother that hatched him. But he hatched Tom.
No. But Tom had to go on the field and do it. And then he went somewhere else and did it. So, you know, we don't have to worry about that. It takes nothing away from what Bill Belichick has accomplished. I just think it's fascinating that there are a whole different. There's a whole book
but
of
Joy,
different challenges.
that's not totally true, Joy. That's not totally true because you said it doesn't take anything away from him. But you just also said if he wins one without Tom, you're going to give him credit. So if he doesn't, it's going to prove more of a point that he couldn't win without Tom.
I'm just saying if the pie chart, if we got to split up the credit pie. The credit pie, is it like a weird, you know, Brady just gets like a little more extra cherry. Like, like you know, when you take it, like, oh, that one fell.
I just can't do this.
I just gotta.
I can't do it. I just can't.
They get in there.
I cannot. Come on, Joy.
I'm just saying, like, the extra cherry has got to go on Brady's pie. Like, it's over there. He did it on the field. And then he went to Tampa and did it in his first year somewhere else.
And that right there is mind-blowing. That he did it his first year. But you just got to just...
Because you know what happened with Belichick when Brady left and when
that whole team was bad, though, Joy. From top to bottom.
He was in charge of all of it.
I understand. No one ever claimed that he was a great general manager. No one ever said that. He would even be the first to tell you he's not.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. If he won, he cannot say he's not. If he won he won all those Super Bowls as the general manager.
Yeah, but a lot of his talent, like the players and stuff that he was drafting, they just really didn't work out. They just really didn't.
Top 6 rings.
No. I'm talking about just some of the players that he drafted didn't quite work out. So a lot of people are saying that he was in charge at the end when everything was failing.
Correct.
Which
at the
is
end, I
true.
understand.
At the end.
But even
not the Seymours and things of that nature.
But
no,
all of them,
not.
we cheat him on when we talk about it. When we keep,
I don't cheat him on anything.
Because we put that out there, he's been a bad GM. I think that's impossible if he's been the GM.
On the back end, though, Michael, on the back end.
And you went 6 weeks.
On the back end of it, it didn't work out too well.
See, we measure that on, well, who did he draft? But then if he's the coach, he goes, draft this guy and cut him and go find somebody else and still win.
But he did
still
that.
Gets credit
no, he
for
got
that.
all the credit for all those things. He drafted a Richard Seymour in the world into the Hall of Fame.
But then why did you make that statement?
I'm talking on the back end. At the end, when everything kind of fell apart, some of them players that he was picking was like, what are you doing?
The birth, when he needed to put that quarterback up and grow him, that was a tough part.
It was some bad
How he handled
choices.
that was
Receivers,
bad.
he just had a nice 3-year window that it didn't work out so well. That's all. But all them other dudes.
Man. I love Bill. I'm a little sad today, man, because Jerry had, I thought Bill was doing this to make sure anybody wants to get in, the door is closing. And this morning, I thought Jerry stuck his foot in the door when he was talking. Oh, wait a minute. Bill, it looks like.
Slammed it on you,
and man, God darn, now you're going to kick Jerry's door, slam the door. Like, man.
But you still got hope.
And then I got to see him go up against Miami.
But you still got hope. Because it's a dude that's, getting ready to play in a bowl game on the 28th.
Yeah, I'm going to be right there in San Antonio.
Me too. I think I'm going to be right there with you.
I'm not worried about them playing Miami, Michael.
I don't know. Why not? Why? Tell me why you're not worried about them playing Miami.
I'm not. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
I'm going to be.
This was the first year that North Carolina was really bad. This was the first year since Mac Brown's been there. They
got plenty.
Damn Skippy, they do.
Great players in that area.
Yeah, they do.
I'm telling you,
they can pull from Georgia.
Transfer portal. Watch their TV games go up. Watch the revenue come in.
That's the kicker too. They got good players in that area, and some of them guys don't want to leave. And now Bill just got there. Oh, they're going to have a
He's going to be cherry picking all that Georgia. He's going to get all that up in there, all up in that D.C. down up in that area, Virginia. He's going to grab all that.
Well, if he came into my home, I would have to wonder why you were 4-13 in your last year.
Oh, God, stop.
When Mike Tomlin is just little Mike Tomlin is winning with Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell Trubisky, and going 10-7. What was the disconnect? Some moms watch football too. They might have some questions.
I'm not saying the moms don't.
That's all I'm saying.
But I can go back to Pete Carroll too. Pete Carroll was getting ready to get fired after his first year at USC.
Yep.
And then the next thing you know, we said, just give him, then the rest was history.
Right.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just
Pete more of a college coach personality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Different
but
time.
if I bring people around me
no doubt.
that got that personality.
His staff is going to be super important, for sure.
His staff going to be super important. And NFL ready. You know he ain't going to be hiring no chumps. You know that?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.